All right, welcome back to the good show. We're moving into Dota 2. Yes. We didn't have control over the playlist. That's a choice. The last one. But yeah, so call-ins, did you guys enjoy it?
Well, I've actually been saying let's do call-ins for ages.
All right.
I'm surprised the first two weren't like, because you listen to Inside the Game and they get like a lot of really retarded people, but maybe that's because they're kind of hitting the North American time zone.
Well, I mean, sorry for anybody that I didn't get to who PM'd me, but we'll see if we're going to bring it back and we can do it in a more structured way. One marriage every show. Minimum. One. All right, so let's move on. Dota 2. So I am going to go back into the...
You didn't even say hello to Bruno. Like, hello. You're such a prick. If Semmler was sitting in that chair, Semmler definitely would have known.
I've got a lot going on in my head. Did you not hear Tom? Okay, it's very hard for me. All right, Bruno, I've noticed that you're not Apollo. Welcome to the show.
Hi, James. How are you?
Yes, brilliant.
Yeah, I'm great. Have fun. This is the first time I'm with Mike sitting next to me, so it's going to be fun.
Been on together.
And he has the unbuttoned shirt. The first time with Mike.
It's not really your first time with Mike.
I've like fucking Jesus Christ. It's so fucking hard. I mean, I've got that, you know.
It's actually my fault because I refused to have the door open because I'm wearing shorts.
Yeah, because you're a prick.
Not even that's an excuse. I've got shorts on.
All right then, so let's move into Dota 2, and we've got Bruno here to help us out. So first of all, Starladder Season 5 Finals concluded just over the weekend. It was won by NTH, No Tide Hunter. Fnatic came in second. It went to the final map.
Yep.
And it was 8,000 for first place, 4,000 for second, and they had about 125,000 concurrents at peak. That was their peak. 125,000, which is huge.
It was about like 65k for the Starladder one. Toby had at one point over 40k as well. And then, of course, the other, like the Spanish, Chinese even had 30-something k, which is pretty amazing for...
It's really cool.
Yeah, for a tourney like this. So it was really nice. I watched the finals, of course. It was really interesting to see NTH trying different things. And this is the thing that I really like about LAN finals, is that every single team has a secret strat. And they're like, well, we're saving this for the LAN finals, right? It's going to be awesome. And in this case, it was Treant, Ogre, Magi, Bear thing with the Bear. I mean, the concept was really cool. It was like you had Empower from Magnus, you had Bloodlust from Ogre, Magi, and you had the Living Armor from Treant. To get to the Bear, you have like a super powerful Bear that will kill everything. But didn't really work. They tried to go for Rux 3 times. They got team wide 3 times and they lost the game. They then went for something more traditional. They Loda went for Spectre, which is one of his favorite heroes, but doesn't really favor the metagame. They still won. They could have won without the Spectre, but it was, something to note. And
it was kind of fat.
It was kind of fat. It was a really fat Spectre. It's really rare to see these days a Spectre with so much farm. So congratulations to NTH. They won that. They're really doing really well right now. They have the possibility of winning DHI, the different invitationals, because they're straight to the semifinals. They also have EMS, which they have been ranked first in the cup stage, and then they qualified and have a really interesting group. So congratulations to them. We hope to see more of them soon.
Yeah, with Starladder, they came up off big. I didn't know what to expect. First tournament was good. Then they had some troubles, and now it felt like they came back, even though the format was like really bad, wasn't it? With round robin, a lot of games. So it was
that's Starladder. Starladder pretty much makes a round robin, best of one. That concluded, and then the top 4 teams go to a double elimination.
Double bracket.
And the good thing also about this is that, I mean, this doesn't always happen in double elim, but NTH won versus all the 3 teams that were in the tournament. Because I mean, sometimes you get to face the same team twice. And in this case, they won versus Empire first, then they won versus VP, then they won versus Fnatic, so they beat everyone.
Yeah, except of No Tide Hunter, of course, winning. My point was that what I remember from this tournament will be that Loda did an interview with Vilat, or Vilat did one with Loda, of course, and then he asked a lot of questions, and one of those was that Loda didn't care who he would face because he knew he would win the tournament anyway, so they were like extremely confident, and I don't see Loda as the one who's talking big if he doesn't really like have a lot of confidence. So I think Loda breeding a lot of confidence is something that's big at
he's a very confident player.
Yeah, when he's confident. I would say. You know what I mean?
Yes.
At some points, I haven't seen him talk this big, especially in Dota 2. In Dota 1, I would say that he talked more big than he's done in Dota 2 career.
So
and also that they will reveal their sponsors like within 1 week. It sounded he didn't even know if maybe the shirt was on print. And I mean, they came to DreamHack. I think was their first big tournament with Loda.
Yeah.
And then it felt like they had their sponsors and like everybody, okay, they're gonna reveal it soon. They came second for Open, and then it's been like nothing. They just been no Tidehunter, and now they're gonna reveal it. So I'm really excited for it. Like
reveal it. Astro headset. Loda tweeting about I'm drinking this monster can after the show because I mean it was really funny. We all like speculate. No, I mean it's pretty much everyone knows it's CG. Like it's fair to say because the sponsors match.
Yeah, but the weird thing is, it's like that's all everyone thinks. But at the same time, it's taken so long, or is there something special EG are doing?
Well,
so that's really what we have to consider. I mean, because normally, like, I don't think it would normally take this long to announce.
No, I mean I agree. Probably there's something behind it, but you have to think as well. The more time you take to actually put your brand name into this team, and if this team keeps winning, let's say they win DreamHack Invitational this week, and they say they win EMS Cup next week. Which they
could,
they could,
yeah.
And
there's still no Tidehunter.
There's still no Tidehunter.
Yeah, well, I think people definitely.
I wouldn't say it's millions of dollars in marketing, but for sure, I mean, the sponsors and the exposure that no Tidehunter could have given their sponsors would have been a lot.
Well, not only that,
and I don't know, maybe they've been even on payrolls. All their travel's been paid by the sponsors.
It has been.
Yeah,
and then they got sent over by
no Tidehunter
are
at Door Open. They were like, our sponsor got us here.
And same with DreamHack.
So.
But we'll see. So just to kind of wrap this up, 125,000 like peak. Anything you want to say about that? And also, how do you look at the form of no Tidehunter at the tournament? And were they the deserving winner? Did they really outplay everybody?
Well, I think so. I think the final standings were really fair. Fnatic was a really close second. It was. Thing about Fnatic is that they seem to stomp or be stomped. They're like not a team that gets these really interesting, very close matches until the end. It's either works or doesn't work. But I mean, a streaky team, if you say so. While NTH, Fnatic, yeah, recently.
Okay.
I mean, they've been having a really, really good streak past month. But now, like you saw them with Virtus.Pro in the defense final as well, and now with NTH, they're struggling with actually capitalizing on their getting to the finals, trying to win a big tournament.
Okay.
Yeah.
And say for the Horde.
And 125,000 for Starladder. I think that's amazing.
That's really good.
Super impressive.
Was on the final day. It was only the finals, right?
Yeah, it was only the finals on the final day.
Yeah. So I'm kind of curious how if it was the loser bracket finals and then the finals, if it's a longer broadcast.
No.
They would have gotten more numbers. I think it was that though.
Well, but I mean, still, the big peak was in the finals. Like there was a huge difference between the loser bracket.
What did you see average?
It's like a short broadcast.
Well, average it should have been above 80K though.
Yeah. Okay, that's still pretty huge.
Yeah, but what do you think of the format of Starladder? Because they more or less play very few games every day.
Well, no, a lot.
Did it?
No.
For the finals because it's a 4-day LAN and they do
it's a 4-day LAN. You have to distribute. It's just like potentially 2, 3, 4, 5 games. And you have to put them over 4 days. Yeah. So you can't really play. And also Starladder has lots more games and they give more, like CSGO was really
CS was happening at the same time,
yeah.
Do you think it's good or bad?
I mean, it depends on the time you can allot to that tournament. If you actually can, like 125K viewers is a wake-up call and you should probably say, okay, maybe next time we'll do something bigger for Dota 2 because it clearly draws more viewers. But if you compare these numbers with Starladder Season 4, Starladder Season 4 were probably 30 or 40% less this time. And maybe this is a wake-up call. Maybe this is a wake-up call for DreamHack as well. Like, now Dota 2 is there. Maybe it has to be bigger.
We had really good numbers at DreamHack Winter, so we know Dota attracts a lot. But I just watched it that I like Dota having like one game every day of a big tournament kind of style. Although we come back to it later, but Counter-Strike, I think the opinion was like, one game, I want more. Because I think the Counter-Strike people wanted more games every day. Yeah, because it's hard to follow a tournament over 4 days.
I mean, they could do like 2 days of Dota and then 2 days of CS, right? As opposed to half and half all 4 days, right? But the one thing, though, I'm sure the teams would rather their games spread out because it just gives them more time. Although maybe some teams are different.
It really depends on the
probably,
team.
yeah.
That seems like a very personal sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, well, either way, congratulations to Starladder. That was probably a pretty amazing event for them, both in CS:GO, even though we're not on the general segment, and also certainly for Dota 2, which is what they are, a bit of a powerhouse in CIS. So CIS.
Yes.
All right then, so let's move on. So Teamliquid. That's how I like to call them, Teamliquid, as I repronounce. Reveals Dota 2 power rankings for April. So Bruno actually was guessing these as people were scrolling down in the house, and he got it pretty much all right, apart from one, which he didn't agree with. So we go for China, and SEA got IG, LGD Int, LGD China, Zenith, and then DK. Team DK. And you were like, where the hell is Orange?
Well, yeah, I mean, and if you keep scrolling down, when you get to the comments, people are saying the same. It's like, well, if you keep scrolling down, you actually see the...
you're spoiling it.
I was going to the European side of things, but yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you go there, like, DK over Orange, you're crazy. There are lots of, worse Orange. And I mean, it makes sense, if only because DK... I mean, yeah, they were the ranked fourth in TI3. But then if you look at them, G1 League, the past season, which was last December, they didn't qualify to playoffs. G League, they didn't qualify to playoffs. Now this G1 League, they qualified to playoff, like, very, very by, like, scraping to the bottom and just getting there. But they're the weakest team there by far. So, I mean, your street cred from being the fourth team in TI3, and TI2, sorry, it has run out by now. And I don't think they're... They have the name, they have the history, but Orange right now is like we're talking about them. They just won another tournament and they're doing really well even in the.
How seriously do we take the power rankings on Teamliquid for Dota 2?
Well, I mean, as you said, I guessed them all right, so it means that I agree with them. So it means that they have my seal of approval. But with power rankings, it's really hard because right now it's perfect because we see lots of finals and we see lots of the big teams playing against each other. So you get a big notion of who's better than whom. But, I mean, like, if you had talked about this power ranking 1 month ago where everyone was playing everyone, you had teams like AL, DD, Rockskiss, Pain Gaming, and all these tier 2 teams. It's really hard to say because you could get an upset here or there. Okay. So the concept is interesting. I mean, Teamliquid is a very reputable...
I think the good part of it is just like the 5 different people's short little spew on each team, kind of just being like,
ESFI World did that before. Yeah. Like, I don't know where they are right now, but I remember ESFI World, they had Riverside from Reddit. They have a couple guys like Mr. Tallgeese and... a few guys also doing that.
I think I like the ESFI better when they were running it. Also, as always, I like Goose Gamers' ELO kind of system. I always liked that the most.
What about Join Dotas?
I haven't followed it as much over the years, at least. Yeah. But, this ranking, I think it's also interesting that the Southeast Asian teams are doing so well. I like those teams and those players. I know you love them too, and it's just funny to see. It's a lot of great games with Orange and Zenith, especially, but also the other teams like Winter's team is. I haven't seen it for a while now, but I don't know.
Winter's team they're doing well, not as good as Zenith or Orange, but they're doing well. And now this poses an interesting question, which is like. With TA3 coming, China was being so strong because of G League, G1 League, that they were pretty much assuming that out of the 8 slots that Asia is supposed to have, they'll have 6. Maybe just 1 Southeast Asian team and 1 qualifier, something like that, because they had... And now they're like, well, I mean, there are a few strong Southeast Asian teams. And China has to be more scared because suddenly it's more complicated.
Yeah, and we can talk about some of them in the next topic as well because it's, Orange beat out MUFC, another strong Southeast Asian team to actually take the Asian Gaming League. I think it was the second one. So I'm not sure how much they really won there. It's like...
They pretty much stomped all through the tournament. People here, it was really hard to see because none of the big casters covered it. But it was a local tournament in Southeast Asia, which was really good. I think MUFC ended up second, and Invasion Red, the other team that's also like really good, ended up third. The funny note, I was reading the Ghost Gamers. Apparently, Orange beat a team called Team Retard, 21-0. So
Nice.
I don't know.
I
That's
hope
kind of
so.
like the yeah,
Kind of a fitting
that's
name.
kind of
there.
like the color part of the whole tournament. But yeah, I mean, it's what you have to take out of this tournament is it's always Orange versus MUFC, Orange versus MUFC. If only because Zenith is not playing these local Southeast Asian games. Clearly, even though MUFC started up getting the edge, like these last 3 times they face each other, Orange has been dominating. So if you had to rank them, Orange is clearly above MUFC at the moment.
All right. And so we can move on to the next one. I'm making Trance really work fast here. I just skipped over
But
like
that's
3
the
topics.
beauty of the
So
new
you're ready,
system.
Trance? We're moving on. So we just mentioned MUFC coming in second, Orange coming in first of AGL number 2. And we're talking about MUFC now as they've picked up Sharky and HonTrashPlayer.
That's pretty much non-news. I mean, everyone knew that. It's pretty much the same team that was playing since the beginning of AVC. They only changed Wang, which was the other player that was playing with them. But, I mean, pretty much the team knew it from a long time ago that they were going to have this score. And even if they hadn't announced it, if you look at their previous lineups, you'll see that, yeah, that's how they work.
Love the nickname HonTrashPlayer.
Yeah, I like that as well.
HonTrash.
It's like, it's just,
That's the-
love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
He came
And,
from home, actually.
Obviously.
Yeah.
something more interesting to this kind of shape of the what's happening in terms of new stuff going on in Asia for tournaments. So AMD and DotaTalk presents the AMD Dota 2 Premier League. I just actually gonna
Which is not the Premier League.
It's
It's something
Premier League.
different.
Yeah.
I don't
So
think you can have 2 Premier
I'm going to come
Leagues.
to the image here, but Bruno, do you want to let us know a little bit about this tournament in terms of if you looked into it? It's obviously going to be season 1 because
Yeah.
it's just started, so AMD are getting involved.
Well,
but give us a
DotaTalk,
background.
I mean, they have my uttermost respect because they've been running tournaments recently and they've been doing it really, really well. They know how to handle this stuff. I know the guys from DotaTalk, but it's really, really interesting. I mean, when you look at this picture,
It looks
this is
big,
well, I mean,
but it doesn't seem that big.
no,
when
the
it's
thing is, I mean, you
$3,000.
don't have, I mean, you don't have as many good teams. Like Southeast Asian League is probably like 4 or 5 really good teams, and the rest are tier 2. But it's really interesting to see a league going for these regional qualifiers and trying to get, okay, we're going to Philippines, we're going to Vietnam, we're going to these small places because it's kind of like all WCS. Right, like you get a storyline. I mean, even if it's really short,
But
it's small.
it's also going to show us the competition there.
Yeah.
And it's actually quite an important tournament because you've got to imagine if some teams coming from, Australia
Lesser
and New
known.
Zealand end up upsetting, then you've got to think, well, actually, TI3 is on the card. So this is a great way for a lot of the other regions to kind of showcase their Dota 2
It would have been
skills.
really good. I know it's probably impossible, but it would be really good if we had Korea as one of the qualifiers. Like having, I mean, you're
agreed.
going around Asia and you're dodging China for a reason. Like there has to be, even if it's for fun. I mean, you're going to play with teams from small places, Dota 2 wise. So it's not like they're going to fight against the best. But I mean, it would be really interesting to see Korea there. It's not going to happen.
Is there any prize money for this tournament yet?
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
This tournament, there is. It's not a huge amount of prize money, but $3,000 for first place, 1,500 for second, and then 500 for third. And it kicks off on the 15th of April with Philippines qualifier, and then concludes right at the end. I want to say, 26th of May. So it's going to be going on for a decent while. Do you know anything about the coverage and stuff?
Not so far, but DotaTalk has always been very dedicated in having an English caster. They had some guys from Malaysia, I want to say, maybe I'm not sure. I don't want to just. They had some guys from Southeast Asia covering English coverage, which was really funny. I mean, not particularly super great, but it was entertaining at least. So yeah, I mean, it will not have the big numbers that tournaments like Starladder and EMS have, of course, but at least it will be accessible to the English audiences. And I mean, it's different scenarios, new teams, and most importantly, like new playstyles. Everyone talks about Filipino Dota being really kind of crazy Dota with 3 crows, bottle crowing everywhere, which is not exactly like that, but they do have a different way of seeing the game. And I mean, if only for that, might be worth to tune in for a couple games to see what's new, what's different.
So we can move on to something which is, I think everybody really wants to see how this ends up. It's the Raidcall EMS Season 1. finals. ESL have now announced the brackets, and obviously I think everyone knows the dates now. I think they had that originally anyway in the post. But the brackets are up. We can look at what are going to be.
It's really strange, I would say.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the brackets have been really controversial, but on the other hand, I mean, if you look at the brackets, you see one side of the bracket, you have DD,
Congratulations, BP, on your
yeah, exactly. I mean,
round.
DD, Rockskis, AL, and BP. Like
is it single elim?
Yeah, this is single elim.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Can I just add to this? If you look at the winner in the point system was no Tidehunter, they should get seed 1.
Yeah.
But
No,
seed 3...
No. That's not how it worked. There was a group stage, which pretty much no team really cared that much about. That was, for example, Teamliquid ended up 0-3 and getting disqualified. I mean, I'm not saying that they really didn't care, but clearly that was not like there were other big tournaments going around. And
well, I think
like
when Fnatic was
priority.
playing in theirs, they were playing in 3 other tournaments that same day, right? And so they ended up getting second in their group, so they didn't get that first
So
seed.
these are the correct seeds.
yes,
Basically,
I thought it was just the points and the group, no group
No,
stage, but
no.
I see it's my...
if you get first, you play second seed from a different group, right?
Exactly.
So that's why you've got Navi, Fnatic.
yeah. I mean,
and
Fnatic ended up second. NTH ended up second with DD. Dota ended up first, winning against them, and so that makes for kind of weird brackets. I mean, you could argue and say that maybe you could put some of the seconds with some of the first, but I mean, it would be like...
I would suggest you have just a draw, and that's what
a
they've
draw.
done.
Yeah.
So it's not a problem. But of course, no Tidehunter not winning against DG, and also Fnatic maybe not coming ahead of Mouse Sports makes this kind of, I would say,
Yeah, I mean...
top 4 seeds, 3 are at the bottom.
I'm 80% sure that it was random, like the draws were random once they got the
I
settings.
mean, you look at this bracket, it's funny because
But-
people on the Dota subreddit were complaining.
We can
but
bring
it's
out the bracket
it's
again
like,
just so people can...
who suffers most from this bracket? I mean, okay, the teams are probably not thrilled, but it's like EMS suffers from having a bracket that's not as conducive to viewers. So when people are like, "Oh, EMS is so dumb," it's like, look, they're just hosting a fair competition, and maybe there could be better oversight.
I mean,
with
do
the
you
seeding.
should
really
have
think-
fair competition, and that's what they've done, and that's
exactly.
what's most important.
The thing is, do you really think they suffer? Because they will have like great blockbuster matches from quarterfinals.
From the first day.
Instead of,
because-
I mean, if you have the fairest where the strongest play against the weakest at the beginning, what you'll have is like boring quarterfinals, somewhat interesting semifinals, and a really good final.
But I mean, you might not have a great final here as well. I mean, imagine like, okay, let's say for example, Virtus.Pro turn up, don't have a great first game, get really, shaken, and then they lose to AL, and then you might be like, well, actually, Rock's KAS are really good as well. So yeah, okay, the final should be good, but at the same time, some people might look at like. If
People
no
would love to see
Tidehunter and
Navi
Fnatic go
versus
through or something,
no
right?
Tidehunter,
They'd be
right,
like, okay, this semi-finals basically means you win this, win the tournament. But like, of course, that's how that's how you should look at this because it's like, okay.
And I really like the single
Chance we
elimination
can remove this,
over
yeah.
4 teams with a double elimination bracket. Like,
So has the
Agreed.
casters announced and
No, they haven't.
Oh, it
there
was
is-
released today, right?
they haven't announced
for CSGO, they released that. For EMS, the only thing they've released is that Toby is going as well as Kawa. That's the only thing.
Yeah, and
of course, it's in Poland. I think they
It's
showed
Poland,
the venue.
yeah, it's Poland.
It's 20 euro to get in.
Katowice, 12,000 first place. The tournament bracket's there. The schedule is here. Tickets, obviously, from the 20th to 21st. And you said 20.
Yeah, 20 euro. And this is something that people on Reddit
Sold
were
out.
quite vocal
Sold
that
out.
they're...
People are saying it was really expensive.
Yeah, it's sold out. People were like, "Oh, there's a barrier. People can't go." But they said
That's
we have
really
limited
cool.
seats, and we want to give it to the people who really want to be there.
I believe,
so-
yeah, it's like, I don't know how big the audience will be, but I'm guessing anywhere between 500 to 1,000 or...
I feel like it's less than that. Actually, I don't know. There's a picture of the venue I saw, and it's like a big room. It's not like.
Have they linked the venue here?
But I think this is going to be really cool, to be honest. I'm looking forward to this tournament. Just because seeing what ESL will do and also like the Polish crowd and having this tournament, it feels it's a lot of prize money, right? In this,
It is a lot of prize
it's-
money.
it's-
I mean,
more than maybe any tournament since.
Well, more than most Western tournaments. Like Chinese tournaments are still paying more.
I mean, it's
Well,
12K to the winner dollars.
Yeah.
It was 8K in Starladder, and Starladder
Yeah.
should be considered one of the biggest offline
EMS
tournaments.
has like the best prize money if they
Yeah.
continue
Of
doing
all,
it over.
during all the year, because the interesting thing is that this is 3 a year, I think.
4, I think.
Four,
Yeah,
3 or
four.
4, only 4 a year.
Right.
So
Yes.
4 times you get 35k, which is really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, all teams get $2,000, so it's really nice, and you get 12k if you win. So I really like this tournament format. I think it's like been really good for the teams, and most likely if the production is good and they get treated well, I think that I can see they prioritize this tournament over a lot of online tournaments in the future.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I think EMS One is the best online going into land.
Yeah.
online.
I don't necessarily think as well EMS got the treatment that it probably deserved from the get-go. You know, obviously it's season 1, but
Treatment
also you have to
from
remember.
Treatment from the
ESL
community?
or the teams? Or
No,
the
from
audience?
the teams, like they were like they probably didn't look at it as like
Yeah, well,
super
yeah.
serious, but also ESL didn't have a great reputation with some of the Dota community.
They didn't
from
work
the
that much with Dota as step as some others.
This to me, in a lot of ways, when I turn it on randomly, it's like it doesn't feel like an ESL product the way EMS CSGO does, right? Because it's like, oh, here's Toby on Toby One's stream, and it's the same overlays that I always see on Toby's stream.
Yeah, that was kind
so
of weird.
it didn't, and I think that's one thing that kind of suffered because there's
Yeah.
all the
But I think,
joint
the,
Dota
but
stuff.
I think the one to, I mean, the fact that they brought Kawa to Germany makes me think that they're setting up something, and just
Well,
like this is like a temporary measure or something like that. Because I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Kawa is actually getting a studio. I mean, getting ESL studio there and casting the online from Germany with someone else.
Yeah, maybe someone else was on. Who knows?
How has
Yeah, with the chairs and stuff.
how has the
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Can you link me?
Well,
there
it's
on
is it a real?
Skype?
how has the viewing numbers been for this event? I mean,
Oh,
is it
well,
is
what
it
the
like
fuck?
D2L or bigger?
Well, the biggest
Depends
problem
who's
with this
playing.
tournament was
Oh,
that the
Best of ones.
Close the door.
What?
So fucking hot in here. I'm sorry, Jay, but
maybe-
seriously, man.
well the
I mean, you can do a lot with
Fine.
branding and so, but I think the ceiling, I mean, the height of the room is.
is that a real picture?
How
Or
are you
is
gonna
it
see
like
that
a
from all the way
render?
in back? Yeah.
No, that's the venue from.
That's a real.
They better have
it
good
looks
air
like a
conditioning
render.
too. Actually.
It's funny.
Yeah, but I mean, it's too small for the people in the back. You won't see shit, literally, in Dota. Like,
Well,
Right. Well, we'll see
that's
how
what
this
22
works out.
euros.
I mean, the
you
thing is,
can
this
solve
is-
it with more.
It's the room. They could have another hanging thing.
Yeah, yeah,
they could
exactly.
have other screens elsewhere. So I mean, that's just the room. They're going to come in there and do a bunch
Yes,
of shit
that-
to it. I would
All right.
imagine.
Yeah.
But-
So we
That didn't maybe look as much as I could have hoped for.
yeah. Well,
It's
exactly.
not the
That's
Spodak that
Well,
I am was at.
I
That's for sure.
mean, maybe next time it'll be in Germany actually.
okay. So let's check it out on the 20th to 21st.
The host will be awesome. The
and
host
then-
will be awesome.
And then we'll see what it's about. Okay, so also in Dota 2, tournaments going on this month as well. DreamHack Online Invitational is still ongoing. So we're actually going to be covering that, not tomorrow, but the next day.
Yep.
So on the 11th, we got round of 6. And of course, we got Red Pandas versus
Fnatic.
Yeah.
And then we have Empire versus
Dignitas.
Yeah. Okay, and then of course the finals is on the 13th.
And
So that
Teamliquid,
tournament
yeah.
basically
Semi-finals.
sucks.
Yeah.
It's a really bad tournament, but you should definitely check it out. I mean, yeah,
And we will finally
I
have
really
the,
like it.
Go figure.
yeah.
yeah, and we will have the surprise that I've been talking about and about. Like people will think like I'm overselling it. I know, but I know that but I know that Semmler has been working really hard today on it. Actually,
So
So it's
yeah,
actually
so
fun.
you've got a lot of some really good Dota events. You've got 20 to 21st. You've got EMS, which is going to really be a showcase of what ESL are looking to do, and then of course the end of the DreamHack Online Invitationals. And DreamHack have already announced they've got a summer Dota 2 there as well with 300,000
300,000
SEK, which is like almost $40,000.
no, it's more than 40,000.
think-
It's 4,600,
45,
45,
yeah.
46,000.
It's edging to 50 actually. Yeah,
Yeah.
something.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
Also, I mean, D2L is concluding this week as well.
Well,
which
it's
is going
concluding
on.
right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, Andy's commentating.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, so we're moving on. The Dota 2 Lounge, Dota 2 item and trading and betting website, getting 100k unique visitors per day.
Yeah.
Apparently, so people just trading cosmetics. That's a
It's-
nice hairstyle for Lena.
It's really interesting. I mean, it's the thing that happens with Dota 2 is the more you play, the more items you get. The more items you get, the less you care about the items because you have, okay, good, I have 50 Svensors and I can only use one. I mean, I can swap them or whatever. people started saying, okay, I want to do something with these items, and people start destroying them in hope of getting a better item or something. Of course, there's also like the item traders that they know that there are specific items that are worth a lot. There's this Meeville that's worth like over, I think, $2,000 right now. I mean, a courier that's going for that much. The international couriers like the Drodo is going for like $500 or something. So if you have one, that's Jane, you have $500.
What? I have a what?
Yeah, if you have the courier from the international.
I got a couple of those.
I didn't get anything from the international.
Well, you ask them because they're
Hellspawn,
worth
you got a
like a
couple of
lot.
those?
There was like $500 and $300, something like that.
All I got was an axe.
But here's the question. I
got one of those too. From my
I know
friend.
I'm dumb. I understand it, but for me it would be I go into Dota, I have my items, and I trade them within Dota. But I should go to this like black market.
No. This is not a black market. I mean, what is it? Jesus. DotaBlackMarket.com.
The Chinese mafia doesn't run it.
No,
don't
the way
worry.
Dota to launch works is that they have a bot where you can trade items to the bot, and I mean it registers who you are and what you bet on, and then after a game, if you won, you get extra items depending on what you bet. So if you bet like 5
So it's
rares,
trading and betting, as we mentioned.
it's trading
before.
and betting, and it's really cool because it's a way for people that have items and don't know what to do with them to actually make something. And it's not about what items you get, because I mean, even if you bet like rares, there are like good rares and bad rares. You can bet commons or whatever. But the thing is that because they found a way to actually get people to use those items for something that's fun, it's mostly about betting. They've done a great job, and I mean, if you go to any tournament, like Thread on Reddit or whatever, you'll see people it's like, oh, I have my 5 rares on this team. And
Yeah, our chat is always full of people being like, oh, fuck, but they've got to stand in. I put 3 rares on this game. Fucking Cinderin, standing in, getting owned.
If I was Valve, I would like shut that shit down, and then I was like,
why shut?
no,
it
and then I
down?
was like, okay, I have this item. Bruno, do you want to buy it? Yes, I paid 10 euros. I get it into my Steam account.
No, it's trading.
No, wait. I got it into my Steam account, my 10 euros. And then I go and buy keys for it to unlock my chest. And I would like to have it inside Dota to trade
You
it
do
for.
have that.
We
But
have?
it's just, yeah.
How?
You can trade items with people.
Bruno
Is it the
looks-
market?
You have the community market. Like you can actually go and put an item on Steam and say, I want to sell this item
That I
at
like.
$3, and you say, oh, I want this item. Oh, it's at $3. It's really cheap. So you go in Steam and buy it. But this is not about buying and selling because there's no money involved. This is actually betting. Instead of betting money, you bet items.
Pokes.
So it's something.
And I thought I was getting old, Hellspawn. You completely lost on this segment.
Yeah, I bought some keys. I was kind of happy-ish. Not
Did it
really.
feel like retail therapy when you opened them?
I watched this Hearthstone when you're buying, a deck for your game, the Blizzard game, and like, legendary. And then I felt, okay, that was kind of like too cheesy for me, but I didn't feel the same when unlocking these chests.
You felt good.
Well, when they came out with Hearthstone, they made a big deal about like the animation of when you open your deck up, and they're like, it's very satisfying that.
Yeah. If anybody doesn't know, Hearthstone is Blizzard's new IP, which is a card game, kind of, you could say Magic of the Gathering, but based around the Warcraft universe. Yeah. And of course, it's going to be played on...
Me and Greg can retrade items, but I played Solidus, so I have so few items, I don't have any duplicates, and we just trade duplicates against duplicates.
Okay.
That's our trading.
But Dota Lounge, it's like when we look at our Twitch stats for DH Invitational, it's like probably I think number 2 after Join Dota in terms of like people watching on the embed on that site, and we always see it on chat. So I mean, it's
100k unit visitors a day.
That's crazy.
They're doing well.
Crazy number. I need to get into this.
Okay, right. So we're all going to start betting items now. So let's move on. DotaCinema released their VOD section. It's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. You can go and check it out. It's something that the community had been asking for a while, which is
I'm on it now.
A place where you can, if you can go and show it.
Earlier when I did the dog, who the fuck added this?
Yeah.
Bruno added this. Sorry, Tran. Alright, so here we are. This is a VOD
I don't think we're allowed to talk about it, James.
Yeah, sorry.
It's not on the
Cross
dog.
the line. Now, well, the thing is that you can go and filter, like it says, you want to see any game that was casted by James, you go and filter by James, and you get that. Or you want to see any...
There's a link to the Twitch
to the bots, yeah.
This is just like a VOD archive.
Just for a VOD archive, yeah, for YouTube mostly.
It's a little bit heavy load on it. If you scroll fast,
what?
Look like commercials is coming with in the bottom or something. Scroll.
It scrolls.
Yeah,
you
it's
see?
scrolling like it's refreshes.
You
automatically.
can't. Results
I like
capped
the
to
take on it.
60.
I like.
I mean, it's really interesting. So
my
you,
name.
yeah, so you get there and you can filter by
Look,
lots of
Webpads
stuff.
doesn't. Poor Webpads. He doesn't have a fucking logo.
He didn't get the golden name. He's just
click it.
sidekick.
And it goes.
So you get there and you can like the game or whatever, blah blah blah.
wow.
Get
Have they
some
not
on and
updated
it
Webpads
comes.
because he's supposed to be?
I think
He's
they should
tracked by
put-
their streaming thing
Oh,
too.
sorry. I think they should put more effort into highlighting which tournament it is, because now it's like I see the caster.
Well, it's up
There's
here.
no-
yeah, but it's like I
Yeah.
see the caster and I see which teams.
Yeah, but
That's
look.
clear. But
got
I think that
tournaments here.
tournament is like
Let's click our tournament
Where
if
is
we
it?
can.
Yeah, I can't find
running.
it. Where is
Where
it?
is it? What the fuck it's called?
Where are you going? Why are you going so far back? This is really
Oh.
far back.
Oh,
It's
it
probably
says-
like under the ongoing
A
list, so
to
it should be
Z.
right at the start somewhere. I mean, I think.
No, I don't see it.
Jesus.
uh,
Disregard what I say. This page
J1.
sucks.
Search it. Just
The defense.
more to the left. I can't
DreamHack
go there.
Winter.
He's pulled over. Alright, whatever.
Where? Alright, I'm just
Oh,
gonna.
oh, in the search coming soon. Okay.
I'm just gonna
Oh,
click.
whatever.
let's go Raidcall
The
G2L.
Premier League. I
Oh.
love these guys.
No,
Mm,
not
So it
no,
just
not
filters.
those guys.
It's a filter. Okay. All right. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
And all right. So.
So I mean,
whoops,
this
yeah.
I mean, this is funny because what we're going to with this piece of news is that people were asking for this, and then apparently when they launched this, Shiver came like, well, my site had this like 2 months ago. And Shiver Gaming, if you go to her site,
I am on her site.
she has the same thing, which is kind of hidden right now because you have to go to archive.
Is it under media?
No,
or
no, no.
is
Go
it-
back to the. So you go to archive, and then you have it there where you can actually go and filter. I mean, it's not as pretty, but you
Right.
can also
This,
go there.
It seems a bit more.
wait.
She has her
Let's
She
see.
has our thing. It's superior already.
I can find maybe 100 sites that have this. It's all about like which gets popular and have a nice and up.
Yeah, I mean, there's like 5 people in
Search channel.
StarCraft that do this. Like, there's SC2 Catz, SC2 Links, subreddit. So
I think can you short thing. S2 Cast if I can get like the reward of the year for last year. I love S2 Cast. I think it's like the best ever.
Who?
SC2 cast.
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, you crashed your site. Come on, guys.
Oh, we crashed Shiva's website.
Everybody wants
Sorry,
Ah.
Shiva.
Anyway, I used to join Dota. I think it's really nice. I find VODs really
Well,
fast.
Join
but
Dota
it's
doesn't
not-
have all the VODs. That's
Yeah,
the thing.
but
They
it
only
has-
have the ones that they cast.
No, they have more.
Do they?
Yes.
Oh yeah, they do now. Yeah, sorry, but
But this is more attractive. It's more like search functions and stuff like that. So
I
that
thi-
I like.
I
But
think that's the strong point that you can actually filter and search very interactively. And I mean, it's cool.
I'm very surprised this hasn't something really major site, because it has been missing. I think.
Yeah, I mean, well, not because we had Shiver lacked advertising.
Yeah, and
but-
she had 10 viewers on that site archive.
Yeah, I mean, I like what she does because she's a really hard worker and she like.
Yeah,
but
I
I
didn't
mean, yeah,
criticize
I mean,
that.
this was really properly marketed and they went to the proper networks and. I mean, it's pretty cool. In the end of the day, this is what will become the official like go-to bots thing, I guess. So.
I like it. I'm gonna try to use it.
Mhm.
How does it feel to click one?
yeah, that's one thing where like for me with StarCraft 2, I use Liquipedia because
Yeah.
on the bracket they have like, and on the group stage they'll have a little camera and then it goes right to your VOD, so it's like you get your everything with the tournament there and it's all in. And then
For Dota
I
2,
like
they
that.
don't do that, I think.
Yeah, the Dota Liquipedia is lagging behind StarCraft 1. Like, they don't have all those.
Yeah.
It's just not as, like, every single fucking detail's there, but...
Okay. Yeah, all right. So DotaCinema released their VOD section. It's pretty cool. To recap that, and Shiva's website no longer exists. But it will be back soon if you. Yeah, but I actually like what she does. She updates like what games are on and stuff.
Yeah, every
and-
single day.
And she's not like a full time in Dota 2 either.
No.
She's looking for work actually. She's. But where does she live?
Netherlands.
Well, it's easy for a girl to get work there, so I don't know what
He's
she's
safe
complaining
all right
about.
for that one.
All right then, so let's move on. The last bit of Dota 2 news before we obviously go and get some stats from Bruno is the D2L playoffs are currently on the way. This is EG's tournament.
Very long tournament.
Yeah, it's AC and Draskell that are commentating it.
And
so
Marini.
let's talk about the playoffs. Where are we in the tournament and why are we talking about it?
Well, the way the tournament works, it's a round robin again, between I think something like
It's 12 or
teams.
16.
12
Yeah,
teams, I
12.
think.
No,
Or 11.
maybe.
No,
16?
it's has to be less than 16. I'm pretty sure of that. Well, that doesn't matter.
Yeah, no.
I was
12.
around robin
Let's
where
say
everyone played
12.
each other.
12 teams.
12 teams.
One was disqualified.
So the first 4 qualifies. Every single game was a best of 3 in the round robin. The 4 that qualified were Team Empire, Team Dignitas, Fnatic, and Teamliquid. Thank you, Hellspawn. They're playing Team Empire versus Teamliquid first, then Team Dignitas versus Fnatic, and it's a double elimination bracket. So it's kind of like Starladder.
Okay.
And over 2 days.
And they're just in 2 days, so it's going to be super, super packed because it's, as you said, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games, and a best of 5 for the finals. So it's going to be super, super tight.
On weekdays, no less.
on weekdays.
Too. It's pretty hardcore.
But I mean, I think people will like it if only because the particular AC Drassil combo is not one that you see in lots of tournaments. Which, like, for BTS, you see them in a lot of tournaments. For Toby, you see them a lot.
Yeah.
This is kind of like a special thing. So, like, if you like that pair, you'll definitely tune
Yeah,
into
I mean,
that.
AC is very strong as a play-by-play, and Draskell, obviously, he's been said to be the best analytical commentator outside of maybe professional players in terms of his knowledge of the game. So it's a great combo. So when are the playoffs happening in terms of obviously going on right now?
Yeah, they're going on right now. Like, it's today and tomorrow.
So today and tomorrow we'll finish up D2L.
Yep.
What's the prize money? Is it like $20,000?
Ten.
$10,000. So
Ten.
not
It's
a huge
five-
amount.
532.
How long did
Really?
that run for, the whole D2L?
Since December, like started early December.
But
It's a long
It was
time.
really long.
Quick
Yes,
question, Bruno.
Yes.
I said, or we talked about EMS One should maybe be premier online tournament, blah blah blah. But D2L has been like with the biggest numbers, hasn't it? Like Western.
They have been doing well. They have been doing particularly well. I wouldn't say the biggest numbers, but
I think it
mean,
always varies. I mean, they had an incredibly
they're better
good
than the
day
Premier
when-
League. That's for sure.
When like
They were stronger than the defense during the group stages. Like defense had, of course, bigger numbers in the playoffs because it's playoffs and you're playing for something. And the Chinese numbers were much bigger. Like G1 League really were.
It would be very interesting to see what they do next time round. $10,000 for that long play time is not worth it
Well,
for any.
I mean,
Honestly-
even the streaming revenue should almost
Yeah.
cover the prize money.
yeah,
it
streaming
should.
revenue and tickets, I think would actually definitely cover that. But I think when I look at it, it's like I think this thing fucking dragged on a lot longer than they wanted it to.
Yeah.
Because I think when it came to scheduling, I mean, we've kind of talked about this a lot. How like it is a clusterfuck, and I think when their approach was just like, play whenever, and then we'll get IC,
postpone,
and then
postpone.
Draskell should be available, and get them on Skype, and then that's that. You know, it's not there. So it hasn't been like, okay, tune in at 8 p.m. CET, and you will see the D2L, whoever it's playing. It's just like, tune in whenever we're live,
yeah.
follow the Twitter, because we'll be showing shit whenever.
One of the interesting thing about that is that Empire finished up first in their group, and Empire is not a really strong team right now. It's like some people are saying maybe it's not like top 8.
Yeah, it's definitely a weakness of running that shit
So
over.
the thing is that because they played all their matches, they said okay, they let the teams schedule whatever. So Empire played like 8 of their first 12 matches really really soon, December, January, when they were really strong, and then after Fnatic left, they were not really good. But because of the previous seedings, they were really strong, and now they're playing as a top seed, while probably like no Tidehunter is not there, Navi
I
is not
think
there.
towards the end, because a lot of, I mean, you have the league format with 12 teams. It's like DD just cannot advance, so it's kind of like, oh, fuck it, we'll start forfeiting, and they've won a couple of games, so against other actual good teams. So it's like that format. I mean, I don't know. I just don't like this format that everybody uses.
Okay.
Yeah.
But everyone uses it.
All right then, so it's almost coming up to 11, so we're going to wrap up that for Dota 2 news. So lots of interesting stuff to watch at least. What's going to happen? Starladder just finished, and then you've got April 20 to 21st, which is going to be EMS, and of course you've got DreamHack Online Invitational starting 11th and finishing on the 13th, 2 days of broadcast. Bruno, we're going to send it to you for stats, and then afterwards we're going to take a small break, and then we're going to cover some Counter-Strike Go, and hopefully we'll be finishing the show up in about 20 minutes to 30 minutes. But for now, Bruno, take it away, Statman.
Stats. Okay, as usual, we start with the heroes. Most big heroes, it actually changed a lot compared to last week. Lone Druid and Magnus, the most big heroes. Magnus is no surprise, but Lone Druid being there is really, really interesting. None of the heroes are particularly doing particularly well. They have both been picked 27 times. They're 13 and 14 for Lone Druid, and 12 and 15 for Magnus, so both like losing records. After that, we have Rubik and Gyro with 23 each. For bans, Bad Rider has overtaken Nyx with 28 bans. This mostly has to do with G League being played and G1 League, not the G League, G1 League, and the Chinese respect the Bad way more than the Western scene in general. So we see 28 bans for the Bad Rider, which is 11 and 7.
Did you see Bulba's Batrider like yesterday or 2 days ago?
Yeah, I saw Bulba's Nature's Prophet today, which sprouted himself while trying to kill someone. It was pretty weird. But
Don't let Batrider go. Ban him.
Yeah.
Ban him.
Yeah, it was really strong. Anyways, Nyx is also next with 26 bans, and Lifestealer with 26 bans. People are getting tired of that hero. I mean, it's not one of the first bans, but people just want to play with against it. It's kind of annoying, so we're seeing lots of bans. It's not doing really well as well, it's 7 and 10. So that's it about heroes. In terms of teams, we have hot or not. The hot teams of the week, IG of course, but it's like kind of boring to say. They're 2-0 against DK, they're 2-0 against Rattlesnake, and they're 2-1 versus Zenith, which Zenith was really interesting to see that they took a game of them, even when playing with a stand-in. They were playing without XY, which is a really, really good player. They played with Miracle as a stand-in. But because Miracle plays carry role, they had to switch a position, so they weren't playing at full potential. But I think that they could draw blood on IG, the team that no one seems to be able to beat. Makes, even though they lost, it seems that Zenith are really interesting. And of course, we can't forget about No Tidehunter winning Starladder. They win against Fnatic, they win versus BP, they win versus Empire. And they won versus Mouseport, I think, for the Premier League as well, the Premier League 4. So doing really well, not losing anything. For the not teams of the week, we only have one, which is Virtus.Pro, not because they're doing particularly bad, but because they were the winners of defense, and everyone was expecting more out of them. And now they lost to Fnatic, they lost to NTH for Starladder, and they lost to Team Dignitas. I think that also...
In RDL, right?
Yeah. So, like, should be better for them. It's like, let's hope it's just a slump. But the team needs to find a way that actually took them to the different 3 finals and actually win everything. Finally, Player of the Week. This week I was like torn. Last time I talked about Eastern Dota, so this time I'm going back to Western Dota. And the Player of the Week this week is Loda, actually.
Holy
shit.
shit.
Hasn't been throwing.
Yeah, he hasn't been throwing. I mean, it's surprising.
Frozen over.
Makes sense with No Tidehunter being, of course, winning everything. Things to mention is that, like, first of all things is that he's not being in top 5 neither in deaths or assists. So he dies a lot, even if he gets a lot of stuff. And he is not a big assister, so he gets lots of kills for himself. But he's 4th in kills with 8.38 kills per game. He's 3rd with in GPM with 561. 2nd on experience per minute with 563. And 2nd in crypt kills, because he really likes killing the crypts, with 280 CS per game.
You know, when I watch No Tidehunter, I just think to myself, S4 is the guy in the team that, like, is
he's
star
the
player.
he's the best player.
So why are we giving it to Loda? S4's been robbed.
Well, because, I mean, if that was the subjective player of the week, I would give it to S4. But this is the statistic player of the week, so I have to look at the numbers and like, oh,
Bruno.
well, Loda is up there.
Numbers,
Who happened to be
true.
the runner-up? Can you remember?
Who happened to be
Who
there?
happened to be the runner-up
In terms of...
Player of the week.
in terms of player of the week?
Mushi had lots of, like, top in kills and...
Who was third?
A little. The third?
Don't worry.
Who was 16th?
I was just fucking with you.
Yeah.
It's more like it's
Ix
interesting to
Mike.
know who.
Oh.
Ix Mike. Yeah.
Good job, Ix Mike.
There we go.
All right.
That's it.
Oh, I mean, it takes everybody on a team to play to a high level to win tournaments, and that's exactly Loda showed. He definitely played some great games over at Starladder, so well done to No
They have a
Tidehunter and Loda.
good team for all roles, I think.
Yeah. All right, so we're done with
They're
stats and we're done with Dota 2. So I guess, guys, we've got some Counter-Strike and Hellspawn you'll hear, especially because we've got League of Legends. We're going to listen to everything you have to say.
Cool.
Okay, so I guess we'll let Bruno skedaddle. We'll go to a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to wrap up some Counter-Strike Go. And it's an interesting time for Counter-Strike Go. It's on the up. See you in a moment.
Bye-bye.
Hey guys, welcome back to the longest good show in the history of good shows. Why? Because Hellspawn was here, and even in the break, he suggested that he wanted to talk about additional stuff. What was it, Hellspawn?
Rape.
Nothing.
Can't back out.
There's a rape debate in Sweden. But we're going to go into Counter-Strike Go, and then we've got some League of Legends, and then we're just going to finish it off with a nice YouTube video that Chance has told me to play. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to play it. We've kept Bruno.
Yeah,
Thanks for staying. So we're going to go into Starladder again, Season 5, because obviously it had Counter-Strike going in it, and it is actually quite a big thing, I guess you could say, because Virtus.Pro beat out NIP in the Grand Finals.
Twice. They took them down in the semis. That was the first one. They took them
in
down in the semis.
Was it group stage?
Or what? Upper bracket. Their first match of the tournament was VP versus NIP, and it was a fucking amazing match. It was 2-0. All the players on VP were just playing amazingly. We were watching it while we were working on other things, but it was a 6 series.
It was really, really good.
It was a 6 series, and so they took the first hit. They put NIP down into the losers. NIP then stomped the shit out of Na'Vi, got back into the finals, but still weren't able to take it out. It was close maps in the finals. We watched the
first map wasn't it like 16-14?
Yeah, it went 15-15.
No, it was overtime.
Yeah, it went overtime. It was 15-15, but VP were able to take it out in the end. And I believe it was Dust 2 for the last map, and they went 16-14.
Yeah.
But
one of them was 16-10. I remember that.
Okay. Or potentially that
I
was
think also in the group stage actually it was overtime. But I mean, NIP from the get-go of CS:GO has been totally dominant, and it's not only been that they have been winning everything. They were like 87-0 in maps on LAN, but also I mean, I think at DreamHack Winter they had a kind of close first map against VeryGames, but they won the second game like 16-1. I mean, they crushed everything with big numbers also. So I think this was a shock, especially to the NIP, but I think also for the CS:GO community, because VP, they've done kind of good. They were strong to show it some week before.
But exactly, at CPG.
Didn't see that coming. They won 4 straight maps.
Copenhagen Games. I mean, Copenhagen Games VP were the team that came the closest to taking Na'Vi, out. So it was an amazing game there as well. And you're like, VP are really looking good. So actually going into Starladder the next week, you're actually thinking, in the back of your mind, could VP actually do it? And, well, they did.
Yeah. And of course, the other big storyline on top of this is NIP had their win streak, map streak, I think it was, broken at 87.
Yeah, 87 maps on LAN.
So they didn't make it to 100, and everyone said it was going to be the hardest stretch of maps to win, and now it's been broken. So ended by Virtus.Pro.
Is this a world record in Counter-Strike? Do you know if there was any other team?
I was asking around, and nobody seems to remember a streak like that. Like nobody's just like that's kind of the first.
Anyone in any game in the history of esports has gone to major international tournaments, all of them, and had this kind of record.
Because certainly not Fnatic, even though they were like one of the most prominent teams. No. Like in 2007, they would always mess up the group stages, qualify through, and then have the hardest run, but end up winning the tournament anyway. So very impressive. But of course, one of Fnatic's members is also in the team from the CS 1.6, which is of course Forest.
And Get Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry, Get Right joined later in Fnatic. He wasn't there when I was.
It was a 2009 team that won all of this Team of the Year stuff. But I mean, I think this is really good. I mean, also, I think that was good numbers in the group stage, but coming into this final, the numbers were so massive. It was the biggest numbers ever for CS:GO. I don't remember how many it was.
It was around
like
45K. 50K.
Yeah, 50K. And I think that one problem for CS:GO is that you don't have any streamers with big numbers. I mean, a guy like Forrest or Get Right, if they play Dota or they play League of Legends or they play StarCraft, they will have all big numbers, but they actually don't have at this point. However, the tournaments in CS:GO have a really high attraction as it seems now, and I think that with Copenhagen Games and now Starladder, this can explode with EMS One for the upcoming weekend. So it's really good times now for CS:GO.
It definitely looks as like what we kind of thought could happen, but we were worried that maybe it wouldn't happen, that CS:GO is actually filling the gap in esports as the team FPS game to watch. You've got your Team RTS, which is your MOBA, which is Dota for us, some people League of Legends, and then you've got your 1v1 RTS, which is StarCraft 2, and CS:GO is actually on the rise now, and even when we saw it back at DreamHack Winter, it was well produced by Chaos TV, but it wasn't the talk of the town, or in terms of, but now it's actually, it seems that people are starting to, and these pro players playing CS:GO, it's going to make other people think like you do enjoy playing a game, not just because you enjoy the game, but also knowing that there's a community there and something, a bigger picture to it, and it's and I think more people
just like
might
Shootmania.
Yeah. Yeah. If you play Shootmania, man, you could bump into strength.
Hell yeah!
I think also, like I said before, that I think that in Sweden we see CS:GO growing a lot in numbers and tournaments and interest. When I was in Romania talking with our partners there, everybody is playing CSGO now.
Okay,
And also you can see that the Starladder numbers, I think that the Russian-speaking stream were way ahead of the English. I think maybe like 3 to 4 times
Well,
bigger.
the
even.
English stream actually had 12k. It was, I think,
Yeah.
and so the rest of it was made up from Russian. So yeah, it was a lot more.
Well, I found
And
myself
it was
watching
really
the Russian
well
just because
produced.
of the
I
production.
really like the picture-in-picture
exactly.
they use. So I was most of from NIP gaming, but I liked the Russian way because the pip they used was picture-in-picture. Seeing the teams was really good. Like it was exciting for me just to get that extra part with the team. So I love that.
Yeah, and of course we can wrap that up with basically saying, yeah, all the games with VP and NIP were really close, and this is great for the scene as the match is getting closer and closer, and it means that the storyline is going to get a little bit more interesting, even though NIP's win streak's broken. So we'll see what comes with CSGO throughout the year. I'm not sure next time we're going to see it. EMS, you mentioned.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's this weekend, isn't it?
So
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know if Virtus.Pro is there. Are they?
We'll see.
we'll find out. Let's not ruin the surprise.
Yes or no question. Was there a
Yes.
female tournament for CSGO this time?
Not at Starladder. no.
Yeah, what
In my
happened?
head.
I remember
Yeah.
the last Starladder with Dota.
That was a
there
yes
was
or no
some
question,
great-
Mike. It's not
There was some great content created around some of these female gamers.
Yeah.
and it just didn't happen. this
interesting
Starladder.
commentary as well.
Okay,
I would
so
just like to add a good fact is that the SK, the Swedish SK from 2003, unbeatable, won more or less all the tournaments. They were more or less stopped at ESWC by Virtus.Pro. And now NIP has dominated for a long time, like more or less a half a year or so. And they were also stopped by Virtus.Pro. So I think that's a good storyline.
They're the Dragon Slayers, Virtus.Pro.
Yeah, they've always been good. I mean, these guys has defeated like Get Right and Forest in SK. And when they united SK, I think these guys knocked them out from like Meet New Makers they played.
Okay.
Dosia and Fox and those guys.
well, there you have it.
Strong
So
players.
moving on in Counter-Strike Go, just 2 more to go through. It's VeryGames defeat Fnatic and wins Mad Catz Birmingham, which was the held, I think, in the
Gadget.
the
Gadget
Gadget
show
Expo, yeah.
at the NEC Arena in Birmingham. 6,000 first place, 3,000 for second place, and that's pounds, so it's a pretty good amount of prize money. Same as Starladder, but yeah, obviously probably didn't attract a huge amount of talent there
It
or
was
stream.
so overshadowed. It
Yeah.
was so overshadowed. But I don't know if there was some controversy also. I'm not. Maybe not. I mean, in the past, heavy media with Mad Catz has done really good. So I guess it was a good tournament. But everybody was watching Starladder. So.
Yeah, all right, and Raidcall EMS One Finals coming up this weekend, as we mentioned. So I can actually click the link and I can tell you now, Hellspawn, who's in it to win it. We can bring it up here, actually, Chance. So, no Virtus.Pro. You got NIP there,
The Nexus.
ESC Gaming, VeryGames, Fnatic.
No BP.
Does
OVP.
this mean NIP is going to win it again?
Well, we're fine. If they get taken
Can,
down
can
here,
anyone
so-
here really like?
I think
Like
also.
VeryGames is good, but can they compete?
Yeah, I think
I
that-
don't really know.
I think VeryGames, like the storyline also was that VeryGames was the team supposed to defeat the NIP. I think that's the source team, if I don't recall wrongly. So that best source team, and they had some good clashes, and now they won Mad Catz. So at least it's 2 tournament champions going up. But Virtus.Pro, we would have loved to see them with another final against NIP.
I think VeryGames, though, it's always that team that they think they have a chance and then they just fall short or don't nip slaughter them every time they meet.
more or less they have in
I
the
think
past.
they have. Like, it's been very
Been
one-sided.
some close maps though,
Yeah.
but not overall.
All right. Well,
All right, well, that brings us to the end of CSGO, and we can. League of Legends is actually directed at Team Dignitas, so apparently Team Dignitas had a League of Legends B Squad. I didn't even know this. And they've disbanded, which I've learnt about, which is a shame, because I only just knew they existed. I didn't get to
Just like
follow
that.
their games or anything. But basically, they picked up the B Squad so they could practice towards LCS qualifiers. They didn't make the qualifier, so the teams decided to go separate ways. Hellspawn, this is your segment. I'm hoping.
The only thing I think a big talking point is the All-Star matches coming up, and I think that the talking point, maybe I've talked about it before, but the talking point is that if you win the All-Star games, you will get an extra slot for your region, for LCS, for the finals, which is really strange. So from the beginning, it was like All-Star games, okay, vote for your favorite player, but now like vote for the best player of the region so they can get extra slots.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm not really sure how it's going up and when it's happening, but it should be going on kind of soon. It's a big thing with LCS.
Yeah.
But LCS is also back now, I think. It's been on a pause, I think, and it's round
You
up
are
this
the
week.
specialist.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's
Well,
going
it's
again. I know it's going again.
Something like that, but
Yeah.
I'm still just... They are like 150,000 concurrent.
Yeah, I
It's
think they hit
unbelievable.
200 on EU between all platforms the other day. So
It's
So,
crazy stupid.
Bottom line,
big.
Hellspawn. Do you think that in League of Legends you have to be in LCS or just there's no point in having a team?
Yeah, that's kind of the point that we're trying to
yeah,
illustrate.
yeah,
with
I know,
this.
but I'm like, I want to see what he
Alright.
says.
I think that I don't know. Soon the qualifications for the next LCS should start, or somehow to get into it, because I think that more or less half of the teams or has to earn their spot again or something like that. So I think, like for example, if you get knocked out of LCS, you probably will shut down or like maybe lose your sponsorship or at least redo your team. But I think that a lot of teams plays now to get into LCS. Like I think a lot of people are really striving to get there because I mean you will get salaries, you will play on.
Yeah, and
none of
how,
it is
how much
tournaments.
prize money is there for LCS?
I don't know.
No one knows.
No, but, I mean, if you get the salary, you said some number of the salary. I don't know if it's true or right.
I think it's about right. I think it's about
3,000 euro.
yeah, 3,000 per player.
Do you really need to have prize money?
Well,
Well, I mean,
It doesn't hurt.
Of
But,
course, it's show games, but it's you want to get to that big final because last year it was for sure the biggest thing.
but I don't know how accurate my 3,000 euro is, but
I don't
I've
know,
heard
it's-
some
it's-
stuff. Anyway, trying to redeem the show here. Let's move on to Quake Live. Thank you, Hellspawn, for your
Thank you,
legends
James.
input. Actually, FACEIT TV have obviously been running the Sunday Cups. They actually started what was a winter season, which is where they strang some of the cups together, gave points for them, and then had a finals. It was still held online, as it is Quake Live. They had CZM and DDK commentate, and it was a really good tournament. Was way better than Shootmania, and Cypher actually ended up winning over Pavel, and one of the other surprises of the tournament was Pavel ended up making it to the finals, actually beating out Evil, which wasn't expected, but they are of course heavily connected in terms of practice partners, and I think they represent the same team, so Cypher
I
wins.
think the problem with the tournament was like wasn't the cast for like 12 or 14 hours or something like that. Like it was all over the whole
CCM
day.
doesn't say much anyway. He's actually very hard to commentate with. Like he just sits there and you ask him a question and he gives you like these one-word answers. It's like
It's
DDK,
very raw in his way of looking at the game.
he's very like I don't actually think he's a great like I love Rafa when he commentates. Like CCM gets it a little bit, but on camera it's just like I don't know. I don't like I sat with him once and I was like, oh, this is gonna be amazing, CCM, and then I was just like, holy shit, that was difficult. So and DDK actually got worse as a commentator, trying to get something out of him a lot of the times. Yeah, but anyway,
Yeah,
like CCM when he
think
did say some
outside of
stuff,
the
it was
games,
very
he wasn't
nice.
that good. I think inside the games, it was great overall. And I mean, some of these games that I watched, it was just I fucking love Quake. It was some of the best games. Like
That's really good.
Oh god, you got pictures.
Yeah.
The good church. Everyone thinks it's right, of course.
Oh, man.
All right.
fucking shit.
Where are we going with this?
Good Quake, at least.
Yeah, Quake. And then the 125 FPS April League has apparently started. I'll just check it out on ES Reality. The groups. Is it worth watching? I think FACEIT are pretty much dominating in terms of everything. I mean, you've got Sparty and stuff. But if you want any Quake news, head over to esreality.com. But FACEIT is really the one to watch right now. They've invested money into a studio. They've got commentators, on site, and it's at least entertaining. And I actually think the games were pretty damn brilliant. Like the matches that are played on Aero Walk and stuff between Cypher was just. I was like, I played Quake with Fox, and I was like, yeah, look at these rails I'm hitting. And then I watched these guys play, and I'm
Did you
like,
see Twista?
holy fuck. Yeah,
Twista's rails against the game was over at Airwalk, and then he started.
Twister's best map is Aero Walk, yeah, and he's really rail
but
heavy
those
on it.
rails, God.
Yeah. I felt good when I played Fox because I was like hitting some shots, and then I watched Cypher play, and I was like, man, I'm light years behind now. It's not even comparable.
No.
Like,
And still, I think, these players are not at their peak. I mean,
no, I don't think so either.
God damn it.
Yeah, but anyway, so that wraps us up for all the news and all the games that we're going to cover today on the Good Show. So we're just going to tell you about the upcoming content, stuff that you might want to watch. We'll start with our content, shamelessly. So we've got Full of Steam on Wednesday, which is tomorrow.
Yes,
Okay.
good. This time you get it.
I really like For the Steam show, and I have to apologize. When I'm on that show, I'm always quite tired, and I end up just watching Scriff play video games, so I'm not going to ignore chat. So if you've got questions about the game...
Maybe you should be in the players.
it's just... Dude, I have to go into town. I've got meetings, Reborn stuff.
Yeah.
Just sit
It's
down
going
and
great.
play, that's all.
Who knows if it is? I'm lying. There is no such thing. So Full of Steam tomorrow, me and Scriff just casually play video games. And then, of course, we've got the DreamHack Invitational starting on Tuesday. The round of 6 is the first game. It's Fnatic versus QPAD Red Pandas, and then Dignitas versus Empire in that order. It's going to be starting at 4:45, so just before 5 o'clock CET. Bruno's got surprises for you on the show. We're hyping it up so much, so you're very disappointed. He doesn't mind, though.
No.
He's just happy.
So make sure you check out that. And then we got the DreamHack Finals, DreamHack Online Invitation Finals for Dota 2 on Saturday. And it's going to be the semi-finals and the finals because, unfortunately, we couldn't get a Sunday slot because of some league. But we pitched about them before. So we're doing 2 semi-finals and the finals on the same day. So it's a really long broadcast.
I recall Bruno. I hate that guy.
And it starts at 2:30.
I don't like that guy.
Kitten update. They've opened their eyes and they stare at me when I go in and they're like, "Who the fuck are you?" Because I've actually visited them the least. But the white ones are actually really cute.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and there's like people wanting to rename them. I
Yeah,
uploaded a
that's fine.
picture on Twitter.
Well,
now.
yeah, you.
Yeah,
give
the
them
Good
some
Studio
fucking
Twitter.
Stupid
They-
names.
Yeah. Now Semmler wants to call the
Your
top.
name's fucking Adebisi.
Hey, that's an online moniker. That's not a name for a kitten.
Well,
I don't
these
have an online
kittens will be
moniker.
online. We're gonna get them.
Yeah, well, you're boring.
We're gonna get them little
I'm
kiddos.
not-
I'm boring.
No,
Yeah.
you said name the 2 white ones, John and Snow. Like that's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, but when they're walking around together, I could be like, "Jon Snow, come here,"
You know
Is
nothing,
that
Jon
worth
Snow.
naming
You know.
them that? Like,
and then the other one's Doverkin. All right, you can rename them, whatever. I don't care. Fuck you. I'll just get my own kittens.
yeah,
with
Mingles will get
blackjacks
fucked
and-
again. Don't worry.
So that's it for our content coming up. Within StarCraft,
That was
Mike,
class.
Mike, within StarCraft, you might want to take this away. We got GSL, GSTL.
Yeah, Pro League, all that shit.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
What
I'm
do you mean?
excited.
There's everything going on. I mean, it's not going to be for a bit. Well, like, what was the early? You're the one with computers, so. But I mean, I think the 14th was
I
the
ain't gonna
first
help
WCS qualifier, which may or
Yeah.
may not be broadcast. So.
Okay.
Wait, the 14th. Holy shit. But yeah,
Time flies.
I don't know. But I mean, GS
You're also living.
Code S is good, and
It's not Code S, Mike.
yes,
It's not Code S anymore.
I
Premier
call it
League.
what Tastos call it. So.
Do they call it Code S?
Yeah, they're
Well, I
calling
think
it Code
in
S
Korea it
and
might
Code A.
still just be. I mean, the camera goes
Premiere.
like whoosh, and then it zooms in on a Code S thing that says Code S. So, like, what you?
Brilliant marketing for WCS. All right, then. And apparently there's an interview up with the IGN co-founder at GameSpot. It's been snuck in here in the document. So
Let's
probably
see,
Slasher?
IGN
You owe me one,
co-founder at
Slasher.
GameSpot.
Yes. No, yeah, the IGN co-founder has an interview on GameSpot, and the IGN co-founder is that the guy, is that IPL?
No,
side
no,
of
no.
things?
This is a guy from IGN,
IGN,
proper
IGN,
who's
yeah.
talking some about what the fuck they're gonna do and all their big esports coverage plans.
Okay.
and
Yeah, and also what
all,
happened
all that
with
good
IPL.
So
jazz.
go check it out.
Maybe
I'm
we'll
sure
have a
Slasher's
competitor to
responsible for that.
Slasher who does a better job in the
Yeah,
future.
and in Dota 2, the raid call is going on right now. Actually, if you want to tune in and watch Dota 2, Andy's upstairs commentating. And of course, yeah, we talked about the DreamHack Online Invitational with our stuff. And then, of course, yeah, Counter-Strike Go, you've got the EMS coming up soon. So that's it, really. That brings us to the end of everything. And it was a 3.5
Oh,
hours.
jeez.
Yeah.
I think we've done worse, but
But
Yeah,
James,
pretty long.
Yes.
like,
been a while.
if we recap the last 1.5 or 1 month, isn't something crazy going on with esports. Like what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
I'm getting yesterday I snapped and I just laughed for like 1 hour. I watched this cartoon clip of a laughing.
Oh yeah, what
owl.
the fuck? You were like linking that everywhere.
The old.
And I think that's just summarize everything because
But at the same
I
time,
don't say it's bad. It's just crazy.
Look at
It's
it this way as
freaking
well.
crazy.
When Blizzard decide they're going to do their league, and StarCraft has been around for a couple of years, like StarCraft 2, right? Is it a couple of years?
Yeah, 2.5.
It changes a lot of people's business models, and people start being like, right, what are we doing? You know, so it's big changes. It's going to be a really interesting year, and yeah, but it's been a lot of crazy shit going on. So I think we covered it superbly. Probably the best esports talk show out there.
Definitely.
Next to the Pulse.
That's why you tune in.
The only way we could get better in the Pulse is if we had some really ugly overlays. And we need a scoreboard. That
No points for Semmler.
You know,
Makes him even more
like,
mad.
honestly, I really like.
One girl in the corner giggling.
I really like.
Gotta follow
I
away.
really.
I'm mad.
I don't want to take shots at the Pulse because I really liked the product, the Pulse, and how it was. And it was. I got to know all the guys, you know, in terms of like their
And the
opinions,
girl.
and it was fun. Unfortunately, didn't get to know her. But then they changed the format, and I'm just like, they're trying to be professional, like a high-end sports show or ESPN show or something, and they're failing because someone's walking in front of the camera. I don't know what's going on, like the camera positions. You know, it's like they're trying to be professional, but they're failing at it, and they've cut down a lot of the people on camera. That the Pulse is really just, and the overlays are horrible. They put like a
There's
like
no
a whole
overlay. It's a
border.
frame. It's not a.
Yeah, it's a frame. And it's like, I'm just like, please, NASL, you didn't get WCS. I know that you want your company probably just to go down so you can get hired from Blizzard, but I'm not sure they're hiring. So make the Pulse better, bastards. With that being said, we're going to a YouTube video, I think. I don't have the YouTube video.
Yeah, you do. It's right there.
Just open it up.
Top right.
Whatever.
Oh, how did I open that?
Just open it, open it, and we'll play it on the show.
The best of good part 2. Jesus Christ, it's just more ego for the good studio.
Yeah.
Go figure.
love it.
Well, didn't we show the part two?
no.
Yeah, we showed part 1,
This is
part
all-
2.
We
This is
showed
part
part-
2 and a half.
Part one and two. We did.
And two. Yeah.
All right, guys, stay around for lols, and once again, congratulations to Linda
Nicholas.
and Nicholas.
And Linda.
Linda, and you know,
Next week, transfer process.
next week, Connie,
Get
calling-
ready.
you're calling in.